Hi, it's KCCK's Culture Crawl. I'm Dennis Green, and my guests today are two people that I get to work with a lot and that I know well, but have never appeared on the show together. Returning champion, Carol Montag, who usually we visit with in the winter for your Christmas concert, but in the summer.
Right.
Welcome.
Thank you.
And also someone who works very hard at KCCK, for KCCK, but almost exclusively behind the scenes as the recording engineer for our Iowa City Jazz Festival broadcasts every year and other projects too. But Dan Towey. Dan, welcome.
Hi.
Dan's guitar instructor at Kirkwood and also has his own recording studio and production company, Up Till Dawn Productions. And I know that you two have worked together for a very long time. We'll talk about that as we, longer than any of us would like to admit.
Yeah.
But so great to have you both here. This is, I love this because I know that you two have worked together, as I said, for many, many years, but I've never got to talk to the two of you about the projects together. So this is great. So first off, let's explain why we are here. Carol, the Strange Ballet song and music video that you wrote after the Derecho in Cedar Rapids, and then went on to win a ton of awards. And for a while, it was just kind of its own thing.
Right.
You know, it was a song, and then you did the music video, and then you entered that in a lot of film festivals where it got a really warm reception. But that has inspired, or is now a part of, an entire album.
Right, exactly. So, Strange Ballet was born out of the Derecho.
And of course, as we're taping, it's literally the 5th anniversary of the Derecho in Cedar Rapids.
Yeah, 5 years ago today, we were all still in shock, walking around because you couldn't drive around.
Yeah, you couldn't drive. Cell phones didn't work. No internet. No power. The whole town was pretty much shut off from electricity, and we were trying to figure out how to put things back together.
Yeah, it was. People are still cleaning up. I think in some respects, there's a house in our neighborhood that had to be totally torn down and rebuilt. And so, the crane was lifting the tree off my neighbor's house. And it just
So this was not during the storm. You were huddled in the basement during the storm.
No,
it was
is after the storm.
That you got your inspiration.
It was a few days after the storm, and we were still cleaning up. And we had cranes on our street multiple times. But my husband and I were cleaning up, and we decided to take a break. So we got some lawn chairs out, sat at the top of the driveway, and watched as this crane very slowly and gently picked this big branch up. It was upside down, so when it was moving through the air, it looked like a woman's skirt to me. And the leaves were blowing off in the wind, and I thought, wow, what a strange ballet. Because it was like a pas de deux, a dance between couples, and that's how it was born.
And at what point then did the music video and film project come along after you'd written and recorded the song?
Well, I think what happened next is I wanted to record it with Dan, just to have a scratch track of it.
Yep.
You might have to refresh my memory.
Yeah.
And then from that, I felt like, well, I have a decent recording here. I'm going to go into iMovies, which, I'm not a computer person, but I go in there and try to put pictures together with the music. And then I had a video. So also another friend of mine, Kirk Munson, he's a videographer and has Monza, is the name of his business. But we go to the same church, and he saw the video, and he decided, well, I'll come out and we'll videotape you actually playing to the song. I'll have a speaker there, and I'll be playing the song. So he's the one that actually got my images in there. And I think he also tweaked a few things. But he'll say, well, I don't think you should use that image. I think it might be copyrighted. So so he was very helpful.
But many of the images are the original ones from your original iMovie video?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's a combination of Kirk's work and mine. And then after that, he said, you know what you should do? You should enter your music video into some film festivals, which it never occurred to me to do that. But he said there's a website called Film Freeway, and all these film festivals are listed there. They're from all over the world. So I did go ahead and enter a few, and I won some awards, and I was kind of amazed by that. So then I thought, well, maybe I should do an album.
You hadn't done an album in a while, had you?
No.
Yeah.
My last album was Second Sermon, which was a collection of my favorite hymns. So, yeah, this is all original songs. Some are older, and then some are newer, and so
when you say that some are older, had they been previously recorded, or are they all getting laid down for the first time?
They haven't been previously recorded, but I had written them a while ago and just kind of had them kind of stuck in my back pocket. Like, if I ever do another CD, I think this one should go on it. And so Dan and I started recording, a couple scratch tracks a couple years ago, and I wasn't in any big hurry, obviously. So I would just go over when he was available, and we'd lay a few tracks down. And then the musicians on this that we added toward the end of the whole recording process was Bruce Millard, and he's on 2 songs, and he recorded his tracks out in Boston. And he always comes back in December, or this year's November, for the Christmas concert. And they had Jim White on drums and percussion, and those tracks we recorded at Jim's house. Mm-hmm. And then we had Riley Thurm on acoustic guitar, and Celia Phillips played cello. And I believe she'll be a senior this year at the University of Iowa, but she just did a beautiful job. And then we also had Caleb, I believe it's Valentine Estrada, or Estrada Valentine, I can't remember. But he played flute. He lives in Iowa City, so it's all local people. And then Dan played. He played bass, some guitar, some keyboard.
Just filling in all the cracks.
Filler stuff.
Yeah. That's right. Dan is like Jello. He just he fills in all the available cracks whenever necessary.
Just seeps right in there.
Was this different instrumentation than maybe you'd done previously? I mean, I'm sure that at your Christmas shows, I know you bring different instruments in and that.
Right.
But was this unique instrumentation for
well,
recording for
you?
you?
The unique thing that we tried that kind of fell through was the harmonium that I brought over.
Oops.
It was like, it just was not working. And I just thought, well, this is a really cool instrument. It needs to be on the CD. But it just, I don't know that I know how to play it well enough to actually use it.
Dan, from a production standpoint, a project like this, which, it's a couple, 3 years in the making, she would come and, lay down some stuff, and then you kind of set it aside for a while. Is that challenging as a producer when you then have to go back and start putting everything together, kind of remembering your settings and that kind of thing to make sure that everything matches?
It can be. My usual motive is to record things a little tiny bit at a time, and over time start to put things together. So working with Carol in that respect wasn't that big of a deal. We
never is.
There were times when we tried to use the scratch tracks as the core, the guitar, mostly guitar and voice. Most of the time we ended up having to redo the voice. Sometimes I could diminish the original vocal enough to use the guitar track. Sometimes we ended up recording both again, which wasn't bad because it made the guitar and vocal more consistent. And that last probably 9 months or so. I guess the first scratch tracks we probably recorded a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years. Mm-hmm. Cross on the Hill was one of the first, right?
Mm-hmm.
Probably longer than you think. That's been my experience lately. That was like a year ago. No, it was like 4 years ago.
Most all of the extra instruments were all recorded in the last 5 to 6 months.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Strange Ballet debuts this week, and you're having an album release party at CSPS, correct?
Correct.
And that's Saturday night, the 23rd, yeah?
Correct.
And in it, and those watching the video can see the CD, which I have artfully placed in front of the camera. But there is also a music book that goes along with this.
Right.
Tell me about that.
Dan started transcribing, I think, like one song at a time as we needed them, and we wanted the transcriptions so that the other musicians knew exactly what was going on, where we wanted them to play, and so forth. And then we got toward the end, and he had transcribed about, I don't know, 7 songs, and there were 4 that weren't transcribed. And I said, Dan, why don't you just transcribe the other 4, and then I'll go ahead and print an actual book. So that's what he did, and he does an excellent job. And he, I don't know if you know this, but he transcribed for Hal Leonard for jazz guitar.
I know this. You literally wrote the book on Pat Metheny.
The Pat Metheny book.
Yeah.
So that is available if you would like to, whether as a souvenir or to perform your own versions.
Right.
I guess that would be cool for other people to.
It's a basic piano, guitar, voice arrangements, And then the other additional piece that's in there is the actual piano part for Strange Ballet. And I especially wanted that in there because if I do a live performance, I'll be able to hand the piano player, here's the music,
The other nice thing about doing it this way is, as we all know, people are not quite as excited about purchasing physical media for their music as they once have. But here is a great takeaway, for people who might say, well, I'm not buying albums or CDs right now, but I really want a memento of the concert and the album and everything. And here's a great book with all the music in it.
Right.
But,
and the CDs just arrived.
But you should buy the CD because you don't own music until you purchase a physical copy.
Well, there's an insert in there with all the lyrics. So if you're the kind of person, and the credits, if you're the kind of person that likes to read all that, then it's right there, just like the old days.
Well, we live the old days here too, because as you all know, we still play most of our music off physical media here, and prefer that whenever somebody asks us how to get music to the radio station.
It used to be the expected thing too.
Yeah. Yep, things have changed, but one thing that has not changed, Carol, is you're continuing to make great music that we're so excited to have you be able to share with everybody on the album. And congrats on the success with the music video.
Thank you.
Sounds like it. We should mention you're going to be performing, I'm sure, some of the songs.
Yeah, I'll be performing quite a few of the songs from the new album, and I have a special surprise. Because I've asked a couple dancers to dance during Strange Ballet.
Oh, okay.
So
very
they'll
cool.
be there, and they'll be on the floor in front of me.
August 23rd at CSPS. What time do things start?
7:30. Yeah, you can get tickets down at the box office or on the phone or online.
Their website, which is CSPSHall.org. If somebody wants to visit your website and learn more about the project and maybe order a copy or something like that if they can't get to it, what is your website?
CarolMontag.com.
All right. Well, super. It's been so much fun watching and listening and viewing as this project has continued to grow and get some recognition, and I'm extra excited that it means a whole album worth of music. And we will, at the conclusion of the interview, play a little bit from Strange Ballet.
Awesome.
Right after the Culture Crawl here. So don't go away. That's coming up here in just a minute. Carol, Dan, have fun on the 23rd, and thanks for being here.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, Dennis.
You can hear the Culture Crawl live on the radio most weekdays at 10:30, on demand at kcck.org/culture, or subscribe using your favorite podcast player. Watch our videos on the KCCK Facebook and YouTube channels. Our producer is Lydia Kilgore. The Culture Crawl theme is composed by Vivian Shanley. I'm Dennis Green, and I'll talk to you later.